Alright folks, what is up? This is One Big Bug and I am coming at you League of Legends, and yes, I've gone back to Jungle Morgana. And in this game, you're gonna see how hanging in there can make a difference. Kind of like the Jarvan game where I had to come back from being behind from a DC to 4 minutes into the game. Only this is a little different. This is going to be a team coming back from behind. Yes, spoiler alert. Although tend to bring you only games that I win. You know, I know there are some people out there that bring you games where they lose sometimes. But in this one, to me, it was a little bit inspirational. Because there came plenty of points where we could have just, given up and said, screw it. And you'll see those points along in the game. However, well, obviously we don't. Now, it's become tradition to me to want to steal the enemy's red, because they very, very rarely set guards, and you can see that they have the same idea. So I'm like, okay, well, we get to go ahead with this plan, and instead of giving me an advantage, we're going to break even, which to me is perfectly fine. Now, the beginning of this game's a little bit to the boring side. Maybe even a lot to the boring side, because for me it's just a lot of farming. You're going to note that a lot of people in their lanes, they're going to be pushed up to their turrets, so there's not a lot for me to do. And yeah, first blood already going out to the support. It is what it is. But you see, even right here, you can see, I'm going to slow down a little bit, but keep it still moving at a good clip. Wukong's pushed his turret. I could attempt to gank here, but I really doubt anything would come of it. And Akali's pushed to her turret. And there's another kill, and... oh, I thought he got a double kill there, but no, he didn't. And then Singe dies top. We're already down 3-0. Not looking favorable. Not looking favorable at all. So I am going to head top. I know Sinch is coming, but I just want to thin the herd, because there's no way he's going to get like all of that. And I didn't get much for it, but by thinning the herd, hopefully he can get most of the kills that are there before they all died to the tower. I don't know if he did or not, and I'm not going to go back and look. I didn't know then, and I'm not going to know now. So again, just a lot of boring farming. There's not much I can do. I could go up to Wukong right now, but I'm deciding to go back. And I'm going to pick up my Spirit Stone, boots, I believe an Amplifying Tome. Yep, there we go. And just a Health Potion. Now at this point, I really should be looking bottom. Bottom is in the position to be ganked, and I believe I'm going to start heading that way. And then I'm going to see that TF gets in trouble. I'm actually going to turn to try and help save TF. And even though TF got a kill, I'm just not going to be there in time to stop him from being killed. And that's going to allow the double kill bottom lane. Yeah, so we're down 7-1 right now. We're down a good 2k gold. And we're not in a good position already at 7 minutes into the game. 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 kills, and 5 of them, I believe, are in the bot lane. So, yeah, that's just not in our favor. I'm going to take blue buff again. I know Nolan suffers from me doing this at times, but, especially like when you're jungling a Morgana, you really kind of want the blue buff, so I tend to jungle Morgana when the champions are being used in the mid lane that are either energy based or that can sustain their own mana. I know it helps with cooldown though. I know that would be a big boon, but as it is, and right here I'm going to make a massive mistake. There's no way I can kill Mundo under his ulti. If he didn't have his ulti, I could beat him. But because he has his ulti, there's no chance for me to beat him. There's nothing. I don't have the damage to do that. And because of that, I'm going to put myself in a horrible position. And I'm accidentally going to reveal myself, and Sona's going to see me. If Sona didn't see me, I might have gotten away. But as it is, and I'm also going to do something really stupid here. Waste flash. And I'm just going to get decimated. And, man, that really fucking sucked. My team just really suffering right now. Although TF does note that Mundo's low health and will start trailing down in that direction. They're trying to push bottom tower, and of course there is a response, and there's the stun, the wild card, and actually will pick up the red buff from Mundo. And that's at least a little help compared to Akali, who's got double buff from me. Yeah, I didn't make Nolan's life any easier by doing that. My nephew playing Singed up top was not going to proxy Singe, but kind of ends up doing so just due to circumstances. Although it doesn't last, so it's not a terrible thing. And they're nerfing proxy Singed soon anyway, so pardon me, I'm actually looking forward to that. So right now, I'm really looking at Akali. I'm the type of a jungler, I go for revenge ganks. And actually, a lot of times they kind of work out. And so I'm going to start moving in, and Nolan, knowing what to do, gets aggressive on Akali and baits her out. And although I do miss my bind, I do end up, he does end up getting the stun. I'll jump back real quick. And something that I don't see a lot of people do when they play Morgana in the rare times I've seen her. As you can see here, like I said, I miss my bind, but he does get the stun. And right there, the placement of the Tormented Soil. If Akali wants to escape this way, she's going to have to walk through this. I know it's not a lot of damage. I've only got Tormented Soil level 4. It's only doing 70 plus 10 damage per second. So 2, maybe 3 seconds through this, it's only going to be about 150 damage, 150, 60, 100, but maybe maximum 170. But still, at least she has to take that 170 damage while trying to get through here. So that's why I placed my Tormented Soil right at the edge of where she is, because she's going to have to take some kind of escape route this way, because she's not going to want to go back through us. And I do hit my ulti for extra damage, and fortunately Nolan does get the kill. That's in truth what I really wanted. I don't want to take the kills right now as Morgana, and actually I need to speed this back up. Yeah, and so Nolan ends up getting the double buff transferred to him, which finally a good thing happening for my team other than a stray occasional kill. And man, this, I understand the need to be up to want to get XP and last hits, but you're not in a position to. If you really want to get out of this kind of situation where you're so far back, you really should let them push up and then try and hold them at the tower and let your jungle come down to deal with them. Yes, they got tremendous ward coverage all over. They got a pink here. They got a pink here. They got a blue here. But even with this regular ward here, I could still come from this back area, still cut them off down here, and maybe still be able to get a kill with myself and my 2 teammates, Gunda and Dreamy, before they could get away because of Morgana's Dark Binding, because it lasts so long. But, you know, what can you do? They continuing to push out, and then when they do get up into a position like this, look, too low health to do anything, and that's going to result in a double kill. And yeah, I die up top along with Singed, trying to help him, and man, my team is just not looking in great shapes right now. Down 12-3. We're down 9 kills and 2,000 gold. And things about to get worse as we're going to lose the tower as well. So, ugh. And I've only got Spirit of the Spectral Wraith and level 1 boots. That's it. So, yeah, that happened. But again, it's not giving up, you know. 13 minutes in the game, we're not in a great position, but we're not completely out of it yet. And you can see there's a fight brewing up down in here. They do get Mundo and coming jump in. Watch what happens here. Right here, bam. Ezreal uses his arcane shift to go over the wall right here, trying to kill Twisted Fate. Leon is right here, and I'm coming in from the blind side. Ezreal has no idea that I'm coming. Let's let this go a little bit further forward. Leona turns around seeing that I'm there, and I get the Dark Binding. Leona gets a stun on him, and gets, kind of tagged him with his ulti even if he didn't do much. Now, Ezreal already burned his flash. He used his arcane shift to go over the wall, and he used his flash to get here. Zero escapes at this point. Ezreal has no way out other than to run or one of his teammates rescue him. So at this point, I immediately pop my ulti while he's under stun from Leona. And that's just going to allow me to just bring in even more damage. And again here, you saw the placement of my Dark Binding. I set my Dark Binding forward of the direction that Ezreal has to run in order to get through. So he's taking even more damage as he's trying to escape. And my ulti goes off, and then Ezreal just finally we get the shutdown on him, and he ends up paying for that. And we're going a little balls deep without much help, but here comes Tristana, and we do lose Gunda, but there's the Dark Binding, and there's a double kill for Tristana, and that helps put us back into the fight. 13-7 at this point. We've closed the gold gap down from 2,000 to 500. Now, keeping in mind, even with the gold lead that they have, the reality is that the majority of the gold is on Ezreal only. Wukong's got some gold from killing Singed, but Singed has really gone kind of, it's semi-proxy Singed. He didn't set out to do it. That's just how it ended up happening. And so he's getting worth less and less. Yeah, things are getting worse for Wukong in terms of getting kills for him. So he's getting worth less and less, and Wukong hasn't been able to farm too greatly because despite being killed a lot, Singed has been pushing him into his tower continuously, which is not a good farming position, especially for one like Wukong. So he's been pushed back, and Singed, despite dying a lot, has been farming. So he's still in a pretty decent position. He's got 78 CS to Wukong 64. And yes, he's died 4 times and Wukong's gotten 3 kills. But he's still becoming worth less and less. And we end up losing the dragon. But, oof, I missed my binding. But I'm immediately going to turn around and pop my ulti at this point. And I'm going to get 2. And Ezreal's going to end up shifting over the wall. And that's going to bring out 2 kills for us. We lost dragons, so that's 190 team gold, but we do pick up 2 kills with assists spread across 3 champions. So not too bad. But still, we're not in a great position as we're down 14-9. And we've managed to close the gold gap, but it's still not in a great place for us. Ezreal is still a pretty major threat. And just missed the Dark Binding. His going sideways didn't help him. If that had had a little bit more reach, it still would have hit him. Not that I could have done anything to kill him, but it still would have hit him. I just want to try and push a little bit and see what can happen here. And Ezreal just burns his ulti. And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I'd rather just go back. We don't have a tower behind us. And I know Mundo's in the area. And sure enough, there he is. And Mundo's the only one I'm worried about, like, catching us and slowing us down and allowing Ezreal to keep up with us. That's all I'm worried about. And, I got to give the other team credit. They have, like, phenomenal ward coverage. And this is always something that my team has fallen short on. We don't have great ward coverage. We really don't. And there's not much you can say about that other than we really don't have great ward coverage. and Mundo's ulti, and I really want to go, but no, I'm way too far past the tower as it is. And Ezreal's ult gonna come through, and yeah, there she goes. There's the binding on Ezreal, and he's gonna take damage. I'll be able to shield off most of his magic damage that follows through with his attacking, but you know, I have no ward in there, but I kind of act like I do, and that kind of drives Sona back. You know, there's Tristana, Dark Binding, boom, end it. That's why I love Morgana so much. It's like, if you nail that Dark Binding, man, you're not going anywhere, and chances are, if there's more than just Morgana there, you're gonna die. You know, even in higher levels, Morgana's kill potential is really not that great, but it's still, you know, being a more utilitarian jungle Morgana, it's, I don't know, I really like it. And I haven't followed through with it as much as I would like, but it's still quite a lot of fun. Even though right now my team's down 7 kills again. Well. Again, looking to protect our mid turret. Our mid turret, through all of this turmoil, has actually remained rather healthy, as Kilii finally does knock down the top turret, but we've also lost our top turret. Okay, let me jump back here for a sec, and let me go over this real quick. There's the Dark Binding on Ezreal. I see the chance, and I immediately go for it. And I do live long enough for my lockdown to go, but watch what happens here. Look where Ezreal is, and look where the rest of my team is. Completely ignoring Ezreal. Completely. So, yeah, that happened. And the Tristana was saying, well, I couldn't see Ezreal. He was in the bush. Not only was he popping back and forth to where you could see him, I was pinging like crazy that Ezreal was there. You know, if you pay attention to the pings, you'd have known to go there instead, but I don't know, maybe in the long run when you look at it, it wouldn't have made any difference. But I still would like to think that you could have at least killed Ezreal, who I see as a much bigger threat on the map than anybody else, especially on the enemy team. You know, it doesn't help to me right now that I'm actually a level up on our ADC. Damn Ezreal. And again, wanting to push the tower. Just really wanting to push the tower. More Dark Bindings, more Tormented Soil. I can't wait for the new Sejuani skin. I know it's going to be a while, but I'm really looking forward to the new Sejuani, the Russian bear. And I'm looking forward to, of course, Spirit Caller, Udyr. I've always liked Udyr, even though I don't play him that much anymore right now because I'm having fun with like Nasus and Morgana. But I still really like the skin. I like the interactions. I like the voiceover. I like everything about it. And you see Wukong is hanging down here, wanting to make something happen. I just missed the Dark Binding, which in hindsight was probably a good thing. Now, at this point, we really need Singed to come help us defend. I know the proxy Singed needs to just push, but yeah, you see, jumping over, getting the Wraiths, and I'm low mana, plus I have my Hourglass, which is vital at this point in terms of if I'm going to get away with pulling a Morgana ulti without getting killed. Oh, pardon me. I didn't mean to yawn there. So, we've ended up having to call my nephew down to help. And we're going to jump in the lane here. And there's the Dark Binding on Mundo. And that Dark Binding actually leads to everyone just deciding to go. I walk down because I want to get my Dark Binding on as many people as possible. And I pop my Hourglass real quick, and Wukong ends up falling. And Akali ends up falling, although we've lost 2. Singed is still going. I get the Dark Binding on Sona, and she dies, and then Mundo ends up falling as well. And hey, look at that. We aced the team. Now, unfortunately, through all that, our proxy Singed ended up getting a triple kill. So, no more proxy Singed. But we did end up acing him out, showing that in a team fight, we do have what it takes to battle these guys out. And what I really think it comes down to is the CC, and we honestly probably should have gone for Dragon right here, but we bypassed it for whatever reason. I mean, I'm bypassing it for the lane, but we really could have taken Dragon at that point. God, frick, excuse me, I don't mean to yawn. So, just clearing out the lane, and I'm trying to follow my cardinal rule when it comes to pushing a lane. I always try and do this. If you want to make sure a lane continues to push in one direction and doesn't end up turning around and pushing back, always push to the cannon minion. Make sure you kill the cannon minion from the opposing team coming up the lane. You do that, and the lane is pretty much guaranteed to push to their tower. I think I've seen rare occasions where it hasn't, but for the most part, your lane should continue to push towards the enemy tower. As you can see down in the bot lane, that's exactly what's happening, is the lane's continuing to push in our favor. As I was saying earlier, I think the main reason that my team is able to make something happen, and why we're able to get into team fights and come through with it, simply comes down to our ability to CC. I'm low health again. I've got no mana. So really wanting Singe to come down again. I'm going to yawn again. I apologize. Really wanting Singe to come down again to help protect the tower while I go back. I pick up a blasting wand and an amplifying tome. I'm actually going for magic penetration. Even though on the enemy team right now there isn't any, and Mundo will end up being the only person that ends up buying some anytime soon, I still feel that getting magic penetration really at times can be more beneficial than getting damage. Besides, as I play Morgana, I don't go for magic penetration, so getting the void is really important. And there I flash in just to get my ulti going. And I do get a Sona ult on me, but it's just not going to be enough. And, yep, there we go. 2 kills down, and we have them into the tower. You know, we have a lot of stuff we have good engage, we have good disengage, and we have a team where it's hard to disengage from. And watch Ezreal just melt under TF there. It's 2 shots. Now Tristana finding Mundo, I decide I'm going to come in and help because I don't know if she can beat him on his own, on her own. And I end up managing to help get the kill. And we are going to lose our tier 2 bot lane turret, but we're going to take a tier 2 mid lane turret. And to me, that's a positive trade. Because not only did we end up killing 4 of the enemy team, but we also got the second tier mid lane, which really allows us... Give me 1 second, please. Sorry, my nose is bothering me. And I don't want to sit here sniffing like crazy. Yeah, but getting the mid lane turret, as I said earlier, really allows you to get more control into the map all in this area. Where getting this up here kind of really only gives you up in this corner. So getting 4 kills and that much map control down in here, even if we're not warding all that much, is still, to me, very, very beneficial. So it was worth the trade-off in the tower. Now I pick up the Void Staff. As you can see, if you look at the enemy team there, only Mundo has magic resist, and he's gone with the Negatron Cloak. I'm not 100% sure what he's building out of that, but okay. And Wukong really just giving me some damage, but a quick smite and I heal it all back. And now there's 3 in the lane. Leona comes up, Gunda comes to help me. And one more moment. Man, it seems like nothing wants to work right for me today. That's just the way it is. Again, trying to defend out our mid turret, which 30 minutes into the game is still relatively healthy. Actually, it's very healthy. Unfortunately, Tristana decides, I can 2v1 Ezreal and Sona. No, you couldn't. So, we're down our ADC right now, although Singed has been being a major distraction down in the lane here and has actually pulled everyone back to him in terms of getting them off pushing our tower. And they're going to chase him, which, you know, it's never a good idea to chase Singed. And Ezreal is just going to start melting under TF. And he's going to be forced to burn everything to get away. And, well, we can't get Ezreal, but we'll get Sona. And yes, I could have gone in there, gotten a hit, gotten an assist, but I really thought I was going to get the kill. And I wanted Nolan to get the kill, so I let it go. And Ezreal ult, and he quickly flashes away. He's taken a big risk by staying. And the reason he's taking a big risk by staying is TF can obliterate him right now in a single card. Just one stun card will end up obliterating Ezreal, no problem. But Wukong comes in, I'm thinking, you know what? It's probably a good time to leave. And Leona's going to get caught, but I'm just going to stuff into the face of Wukong there and keep him from pursuing that. And again, Singed is just being Singed. She's pushing turrets, and in comes, you know, Tristana's there as well. Mundo's under his ulti, but with a Singed and with a Tristana, you really can't just rely on your ulti to keep you healed. Fortunately, Akali will come over for him and help back him up, but that's still, even with his ulti, he was still at half health. And Tristana doing the smart thing, staying back and letting Singed just harass and try and drag them into a position where she can be more effective without being too close to the tower or getting caught by them. And Twisted Fate coming over to help. And over here, Wukong's going to dump everything he has on me. I know I can't get a Dark Binding on him, but I do get my ulti, which will lock him down. He's going to try and tower dive me, but then he's going to notice Leona coming and turn around. And at this point, I know that he's blown everything. I had to blow Flash and ulti to get out, but he blew Flash, ulti, and Ignite trying to kill me. So, pretty much positives for me, negatives for him. In that he went through all that and didn't get the kill, and I managed to escape. So I'm relatively happy about that, obviously. So at this point, I'm going for Leandry's Torment. Is it the best pickup for Morgana? I don't know, but still, again, it's magic penetration. I probably should go more CDR because I'm not maxed out on CDR at this point. But again, I don't go Magic Pen Morgana when I jungle her. I only take 2 points in offense, and that's 2 points to help me damage minions more. You know, I use a 2, 12, 17. It's in my previous Morgana Jungle video, including the list of what points to tank, what points to take, rather. Things happening up top as we end up losing 2. But TF is there, and Akali's going to die, so we get an even trade out 2 for 2. We know that they're in there, so that's not going to help. And even if they went, it's a Singed. I don't know if you'd really want to get in that. And I'm coming up in the lane to help back up as well. So that would make it an even 3v3, but TF's gone up, and for good reason. He's got to clear out this minion wave before it pushes to our tower. Still, I'm not overly concerned as Morgana. I have enough utility to be able to get out and get away. Maybe I should have built a little bit more survivability. Maybe I should have gone like health, maybe an earlier Rod of Ages, whatnot. But, you know, there we go, Singed and already blowing his cleanse, which I really don't think is going to help him. Here comes TF and just bam! 2 hits, 3 hits, dead. And then Sona's in trouble. I know that my ulti's only going to get Sona, which ends up actually not being needed. And Mundo's just driven back at this point. Wukong started to respond, and then for whatever reason went back to pushing the tower, pushing bot lane, which I guess in hindsight, minions. Now, with all of them dead like that, you know, we've taken down TF and we've taken down Sona, so we don't have to worry about them. It's really time to take out Baron, and Mundo does come in, Akali does come in. They're trying to make something happen, and it's just not going to work. And this is where it turns into kind of a Benny Hill chase on Mundo. Flashing over the wall, he is ignited. He will use his ulti, so ignite will counter at least a little bit of that. But, you know, he's being cut off. He is going to turn around at this point, which I don't notice right away. But he's going to run into the minions here, and we're going to see him. And he doesn't realize that we've seen him until it's too late. And then Tristana jumps on him. He decides to try and fight it out with her. He doesn't have the damage to kill her. There was no reason for... I didn't need to come and help, but I did. And Tristana got the kill out of it, which, you know, I'm really cool with. As Morgana Jungle, I don't really care much about kills. They're nice to get, but I'm really looking to be, like I said, more damage utility. And you say, well, you haven't built support items, so how can you be utility? It'd be utility by using my ulti and my dark binding, really. That's what I'm looking to do. You know, I'm looking to be a bit of a CC machine. You know, and like I was saying earlier, as we know that they're going for the dragon, so we're looking to eliminate them. And I think this is where Ezreal, I'm not sure. Yeah, we're going to continue to pursue down on them here. And Ezreal immediately starts to fall back. And I'm just, yeah, watch this. Ping! I'm sorry, was that too quick for you? Here, let's watch that again in super slow motion. Now, I do get some damage on Ezreal through my ulti, but he flashes out of it, but BAM! One card, man. Just one card. I want to see it one more time. I'm sorry. It was funny as hell when it happened in the game. And I want to see it one more time. Please indulge me just one more. It's in super slow-mo, 0.25 times. I do get some of something that flash and BAM! Oh, just one card. That's all it took to kill him. One card. I only took off a little bit of his health through my ulti, and just one card was enough to annihilate him. Now, being down anywhere from 2 to 8 kills, and right now just tracking Sona, and there's that. And I actually move out of her ulti, continuing to do damage. TS waiting for her to flash over, but that's just not going to happen. Even if she flashed over, she was dead. But Gunda ended up picking up the kill, which again I'm fine with. So, at one point, you know, we were down 8 kills, 9 kills, and we stayed that way for a while. We were down anywhere from 500 to 2,000, around maybe even 2,500 gold. Now looks what happened. We're up a tower, we're up 3 kills, and we're up quite a bit of gold. Pushing into the 8,000 range right now. So a really strong major comeback in terms of my team. And again, I'm going to look back to the fact that it's how much CC that we're capable of doing. We have the Singe Fling, plus he slows with his poison because he does have Rylai's Crystal Scepter. We have Leona with all of her CC and stuns. We have me with my Dark Binding and my ulti, which is more CC and stuns. And Ezreal's just right there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a blue buff from right under your nose. And here comes Mundo, and I do get the blue buff. They do try and get me. I'm going to ulti, and then I'm just going to throw up my spell shield, which will keep Mundo's cleavers off of me. And I am going to just walk away with the blue buff. I took a fair amount of damage for it, but still, I managed to just walk away with it. Anytime you can do that is beneficial. So, hail, hail, the gang's all here, and Wukong wanting to go in on me gets bounced out, and Ezreal just disappears. I've never seen an Ezreal blow up quite that quick. And just all kinds of confusion going on. Double kill, and yep, everyone pretty much walks away. Even Twisted Fate with almost no health. That was just a really confusing team fight in the overall. But the opposing team should have bailed out the second Ezreal died. The second that Ezreal went down, they lost pretty much, I'd say, 90% of their damage. You know, maybe 85%. And we still had Tristana, we still had Singed, we still had myself, which I don't do a ton of damage, but again, it's just, I do enough. But Tristana's really come back as our core damage. And, you know, Leona's tanky, Singed is tanky, and we get plenty of damage in TF. And watch, just watch Ezreal, just watch. Yeah, okay, he got Singed, but he melted. Completely, utterly melted. And, oof, dodging the cleaver, now, game's on! No, you will not get TF. And we managed to keep him away. It would have been nice to have been able to push them down completely and take their tower, but with TF really low health, losing Singed, we probably wouldn't have been able to do it. So we just decided to back off. They got one turret at half health and their Nexus. You know, they do have their two side lanes still, base towers and Nexus, so you know, it could be worse for them, but not much. As we've gone up 9 kills now, and we've really just pressed our advantage in the lead. It's a little bit over 8,000 at this point. And I'm not sure what I want to build that. So I probably think at this point, I do want to cap off the late game with the Rabadons. Probably way too late to go for it in any game, but I still would pretty much looking to do that. Yeah, there's the needlessly large rod. So I'd be looking for Rabadons and fucking Ezreal ult. So I'm actually closing in on the full build as a jungler. So that tells you not only just how long the game's been, but been doing fairly well. You know, my team went from like 0-3 across the board, except for TF, who was 2-1. Now look, TF 13-3. I'm 4-3. Singe is 5-9, and even Leona's coming in with a couple kills, 2, 6, and 11. And then our other anchor at this point, Tristana, 13-7. So, yeah, we've made one hell of a comeback at this point. Trying to push down the turret in the top lane as things are happening. Tristana, on the other hand, continuing to push bot lane. I'm trying to help Singe, but I don't have enough CC for that. They're going to want to chase me. I know that in truth I most likely can't get away, so I just preemptively flash out and walk away. But they did get 2 kills. They got TF and they got Singe, but they ended up losing the base tower and they ended up losing the Nexus at this point. Nice ulti. Didn't work. At this point, I would say that Tristana could one-on-one anyone on the opposing team. Yes, you have a blue Ezreal, but something I didn't point out earlier, take a look at how late... Oops. Take a look how late in the game it is right now, yeah? And look at here what Ezreal has. There's his Monomune, but look at the stacks on it. Only 432. He got his Monomune way late. He got his Tear of the Goddess way late. For all the golden advantage that he had early on, he did not get his Monomune nearly early enough. He should already have that. He should have had that stacked a long time ago and already be running on its evolved version. But instead, he got it way late, so he's not doing nearly the damage he should, the bonus damage that the item provides, which would make a big difference in what he might be able to do if he survives long enough. So yeah, Ezreal, that's a really cardinal mistake in terms of going a blue Ezreal, is getting your Tear of the Goddess so late. If you're going to be getting Tear of the Goddess that late, you probably don't even want to go Blue Ezreal. You probably want to go standard ADC build. So, yeah, Ezreal not doing his team any favors at that point. And I kind of feel like that's one thing that's giving my team a little bit of an edge, too, is Ezreal's just, you know, way late on evolving his Monomune. You know, that's a lot of damage that he could be getting right there, and he's not, and it kind of doesn't matter. We do lose Tristana, but they lose Ezreal. And, yeah, not looking well for us at this point, as I just decided to turn around and ulti, and I immediately Zhonya's out of it. And we're taking damage, and I do end up dying. I just really felt like we're not going to get away. And there's TF, and oh, he really shouldn't have come. And double kill for Wukong. We're going to lose TF, but yep, here comes Singed. And yeah, Singed is not going to be fooled by Wukong's ability there. And oh, yep, hi Mundo. Now, again, this isn't great. We're only going to get Mundo after losing 3, but it's still rather funny. The 3 of them have to run from Singed because they know that even though there was 3 of them, there's no way they could stand up to him. Even now, with all these minions around, you really don't want to fight Singed. And there's the Ezreal ult again, just used to clear out minions. Whatever. Baron is up again. We are looking at it. We are looking to make a final push. I know that they want to push the exposed Nexus, which is probably the better idea. But I really want to push this tower because it's low health, and then take out the 2 Nexus. Again, trying to get Singed. Again, chasing Singed. Flip, and they will get the kill on him, but that's still a lot of damage he took, and it was a lot of effort they went through to get it. But since Singed has kept everything so pushed down in here, you know, since my nephew kept everything so bothered down in here, that's going to leave a wide open Baron because they're going to be too busy clearing their base again. And yeah, I want Gunda in there tanking because he's got the most health, and yeah, I know. But, yeah, it doesn't matter. And, yeah, with Tristana's help, we just annihilate Baron. You know, he was easily taken down. And I want that top lane tower. And really here, what ends up happening is wasn't something we discussed, but was more impromptu, but it was probably the best idea, would be to try and split push them. To put pressure on their Nexus to allow for the top lane to fall. As you see, they keep having to turn to protect their Nexus. You know, from super minions that are not super minions, but from minions that are pushing in. And we're really wanting that tower and not getting it quite yet, as all this magic damage coming in doing very little in terms of damage to Leona. Just wanting to knock down this tower, and yep, there we go. A Dark Binding on Akali, and she takes plenty of damage from Tormented Soil and other various sources of damage. And Ezreal, as you can see, just getting into all kinds of trouble, is forced to back out. And there's the ulti, and I don't get a chance to Zhonya's, but it's not going to matter. And there's Mundo, and there's Ezreal goes down. He has Guardian Angel, but it's just not going to matter. He's just going to get annihilated, and then Trist is going to go house, healing, dead, healing, dead, healing, dead. Haley, you're still dead. And that's going to be the end of the game, folks. The Jungle Morgana. I ended up going 4-5 and 25. Now, it's kind of like how I want to see a Jungle Morgana. Alright, I don't want to be negative in the kill deaths, but having a lot of assists. I actually got more assists on the board than our support. That's not a bad thing either, for, support wise. But 4, 5, and 25 going utility damage build. The Dark Bindings. I didn't get to do much in the early game, but in the late game, my ulti coming off quite a few times, making a fairly amount of difference. And I really think that Ezreal just not building his Monomune early and then not having much to protect him. He was caught out of position quite a few times, which put him in a bad spot, and he was just so easily destroyed. He had so little survivability, no health whatsoever. So yeah, that really was a detriment to him in terms of anything that he might have been able to do, because he could just be killed so quickly. So yeah, that with the Monomune and my team having CC and their team not, and they did not ever really peel for Ezreal, who was the main source of damage on their team for quite some time. Akali, some damage, but again, just not nearly enough. In the end, that just kind of piled up and cost them the game, despite at one point being up, 7, 8 kills, being up 2,000 gold, and staying there for quite some time. Ultimately, we had the better late game team. Alright, folks, that's going to be it. Me done for this one. Until next time, this is One Big Bugger signing out. I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and I'll see you next time.